What's up, y'all? It's your girl Olivia Bird, and welcome to O's House. We have some special episodes for What is O Reading that we are going to be doing this week. I know it's been a long time coming since I did a series for What is O Reading, but we have 3 books that we are going to be doing reviews for this week. 2 for sure. One of them is going to take me a little longer to get through, so that one's probably going to be pushed back to next week. But the first book we're going to review this week is called Mind You, This Your Life by T. Marie. Learning to show up for the person you're becoming. That book is available on Amazon. I'll make sure I drop the link in the caption. For those of you who are probably familiar with hearing T. Marie's name on my platform before, I featured T. Marie on my first What is O Listening To Spotify playlist. She was one of the first artists I put on there. I've been following T. Marie since about 2021. She is a phenomenal artist. Her pen game is crazy. Just a overall dope lyricist. So make sure that y'all go check her out. All her information will be in the caption as well. The other book that we are going to have on What is O Reading that will be dropping this week is called I Learned to Love Myself from the Way That You Hated Me. And that book is by Valerie Swope, aka Sweet V. All of her information will be available in the caption as well on how to get in contact with her on all her social media. Her book, I Learned to Love Myself from the Way That You Hated Me, is available on Amazon as well. That link will be in the caption. And as always, shout out to our sponsors from the Muscle Music Group, who is the reason and the muscle that keeps everything moving along. Shout out to Bird's Eye View on the glasses. Bird's Eye View is how you see yourself. Shout out to Sets by OB, how you express yourself. Also, huge shout out to Mr. C, High Times Network, and CSA Network. High Times Network is available on Roku TV, where Welcome to O's House is on that platform. Also, CSA Network is available on Amazon Fire TV, where you can see Welcome to O's House and latest episodes on there as well. And of course, here on YouTube, episodes are always available for you 24 hours a day. Now, we're about to get into this episode where we will be reviewing T. Marie's book, Mind You, This Your Life. Learning to show up for the person you're becoming. So I need y'all to grab your drink, grab your L, go ahead and grab whatever it is you need to grab for you to get comfy over here at O's house. And we'll be right back. Let's go. Now, while I was reading this, I had the pleasure of, I was at Kabila Events, at the yacht party, the Rose Day yacht party she had a few weeks ago. And I purchased a bottle of lovely wine from 77 Wines. Okay. And I have the Sweet Rose wine. Honey, when I say this wine was gone. Gone. The bottle was empty. So, yeah. It was amazing. I'm going to definitely have to get me another bottle. So shout out to 77 Wines for my bottle that I was drinking while I was reading T. Marie's book, Mind You, This Your Life. Also shout out to Cloudy Movement. Definitely use my premium rice paper while I was reading. Definitely had to use it for, my L to smoke and read. Okay. So shout out to Cloudy Movement. Make sure that y'all go to cloudymovement.com. Put in your code OBIRD for 10% off at your checkout. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so let's get into T. Marie's Mind You, This Your Life. This is would be considered a self-care book. It gives affirmations, journal prompts, and moments to help you if you get stuck in your thought process. Now, I could read this book on the episode front to back, word for word, but um, that's not what we're going to do. But how I process this book and how you process it won't be the same. So I encourage you to go to Amazon, get your own copy. It's available on Kindle and a paperback. Like, I personally love to have the book in hand because I like hearing the pages turn and just feeling the weight of the book in my hands. So, I feel connected to it more. So, but I'm not going to go over every chapter, but I'm going to highlight some of my favorite chapters that helped me the most. So let's get into it. So the first chapter is called No Judgment. It set the tone for the book, and it wasn't like it set the tone that it wasn't a typical like self-care book. Like, I will refer to it as a journal through a journey, perhaps. Yeah. um but I love that with this chapter, and for it being the opening chapter of the book, um that it forced you to like really get out of your mind that what you are about to embark in doesn't have to be, you don't have to judge yourself. Like, don't judge yourself in this moment when you're going through this book, and going through life. um so yeah, that was chapter 1. um Chapter 3 is called Learn Your Landscape. um your habits, your triggers, your soft spots. um she says anything you don't address is going to consume you and keep showing up in the present until you learn how to understand how you got here and what is going to take for you to make your next move. So I love that she starts the chapters with, um, there's always reflections, uh, journal prompts, affirmations. Like, each chapter has, each chapter makes you think. Um, so the 3 reflection questions, um, the one that stuck out the most to me was, where do I react instead of respond? Um, because I really have a low tolerance for bullshit, and I really checks out. I checks out quickly once the bullshit arrives. And I've tried my best to understand others and their opinions, but that doesn't mean I'm giving grace to everybody. So that reflection question really was like, yeah, like, I need to think about um the places where I react instead of respond. So the end of the journal prompt in this chapter says, you don't have to fix it today. Just acknowledge it. Lord knows I am working. I am working on not trying to fix everything in 24 hours. Lord knows I'm working on it, because I literally will sometimes like see a problem, and because I am solution based, I'm like, how do I fix it? And how do, like, I want to make sure, I want to fix it all in 24 hours. Like, if I got the 24 hours, I'm going to figure out how to fix it before I go on to the next day. And you know, I noticed that, of course, I've noticed over the years that that's not a healthy thing to do. But it's the reality of how I've lived in survival mode. Um, so moving on to the next chapter, uh, chapter 5. I think this probably is my favorite chapter. Um, it's titled "You're Not Disqualified." Um, it says, "Why do you keep holding yourself to rules written by an old version of you?" Um, and I believe it was a part of the journal prompt that said, if I met myself today for the first time, I would notice. And this chapter is probably my favorite because when you have been through a lot in your life, and you have had a lot of traumas and struggles, and you've made decisions sometimes to do things the hard way. um you just, it's like you turn into a robot where you just do things the same way all the time, over the years, in certain situations, that remind you of an old version of yourself. you know you want to pick up those same habits or those same solutions, and you can't do that because you're growing. Like, you're not the same person you were when you had to make those same decisions you had to make. uh and 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 I know for me, a lot of decisions that I made in my life, really, a lot of them broke my heart to make them. And some things and some decisions that I made, I literally have to live with it, and because there's no turning back from it, like it's just final. So um I love the I love the part in this chapter that says, forgive yourself for something you still carry. And the affirmation, um I allow myself to grow without dragging my past behind me. I think that's why it's my favorite chapter, because a lot of things that have happened in my life, and one of the major things um that I've lived with and I've carried for the past 10 plus years is, not speaking to my brother before he passed away. I never got a chance to say goodbye. We never got the opportunity to share kind words with each other um, before he was murdered. Uh, so that's something that I have lived with for the past 10 plus years. And, um, it wasn't until recently that I was able to let it go, like to let it go and everything that involved it. Like, I just had to let it go and um honestly forgive myself for what I didn't do and what I could have done. Yeah, I know that was heavy. That was a heavy chapter for me for sure. uh but moving on to the next chapter, the next chapter will be chapter 6, called The Small Details. Um the reflection moment is, what do people compliment that I brush off? Listen, uh I have always struggled with, like, when people compliment me, I don't really know what to do. Don't know what to do, don't know what to say. Usually, if somebody compliments me, I usually compliment them back. Like, I never just take the compliment and just be like, thank you, and that be it. Um, it's usually I compliment them back. And, um, and then when they are complimenting me, I don't even know how to take the compliment a lot of the times. It's like, I know what you're saying is true, but it's just like, I be shy. I be shy. And so that's it I like the chapter because it makes you pay attention to those small things. Like, do you make people laugh um when they see your name pop up on their phone? uh do they look forward do people look forward to um your post every day? Or, like, I know with me, people like, when I get on my platform, and I get a little spicy. um and I address certain things, and because that is a part of me. That is a side of me. That is, I try to be as authentic and as real as I possibly know how to be. Um so the affirmation in this chapter says, I honor what is beautiful in me, even when it's quiet. Yes. 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 Um because everything don't have to be loud. And I'm not a person that's loud anyway. It takes a lot for me sometimes to um talk about myself or what I'm good at, or you know cuz I'm really I don't do what I do for recognition. I receive it, the recognition, but it's not what I look for. It's not my purpose. I'm not driven. My purpose is not driven by um accolades. And um I enjoy the quiet things, um of hearing, of seeing people cry when I perform, because the words that the message that I'm delivering hit them in some way. um So let's see, chapter 8. We're gonna move on to chapter 8. This chapter is called Duality and Acceptance. It says, when you know who you are, you don't need permission to be them. In a part in there, it says showing up for yourself. It says, um, it's a part like a prompt, or a call to action item, if you will. Um, it says defend a part of yourself you used to hide. Child. So those creators like me, those of you that are listening, um, when you are gifted at a lot of things, and when you take those gifts and you actually pour into them, and you nurture them, and you know love on your gifts, it's really difficult to find the balance. And um people don't like like for people looking, some people that's looking at all of the things that you are good at, it's like to them you're bragging, or you're being boastful. But it's like, why do I have to be quiet in the things that I'm gifted at? Like, I I chose and decided to nurture the gifts that I was blessed with. Why is that a problem for you? Like, it, I am a strong believer that everybody needs to pop their shit. Why not? Why not? Who made the rules to say that I have to be quiet and humble and shy about the fact that I put my time in, and I put my work in, and I put my energy, and I put my sweat and my tears and my grind into these things? Why do I have to be silent about it? And why do I have to dim them or make them less than, in order to make another person feel better about what they're doing? I encourage everybody to pop they shit. Like, pop it. Your work is gonna produce the results. So if you sometimes as creators we get to a space where we're feeling like we don't what we're doing is not good enough. Good enough for who? Good enough for who? And that's the question that, we have to ask ourselves. Good enough for who? Um the ending of the chapter says you get to decide what stays, what grows, what goes. Let me read that one more time, because I feel like I messed it up a little bit. You get to decide what stays, what grows, and what goes. Yes, you get to decide where you're gonna be, and what you're gonna be doing tomorrow, what you're gonna be doing today. You get to decide. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. We all have free will. We get to decide what we choose to pour into ourselves, what we choose to entertain, what we choose to go after, what we choose to, if we choose to live in our purpose or we choose to run from our purpose. We all get to decide. Um So the final chapter that I want to highlight is the final chapter of the book, actually. Um, it's called Honest is Better Than Perfect. The real goal, the goal was never to finish this book and become someone else. My bad, y'all. I had to, actually had to stop and, go to the door to get my sea moss. Shout out to West Philly Tuck, okay? I have been for Better You, Better Life sea moss. Shout out to him. Shout out to his wife, the family. When I say me and my husband have been eating this sea moss since 2019, and honey, sometimes we go a little bit without having it, but we always come back to it because it is really the best thing. It kept us healthy and it kept us safe during during the pandemic. So I make sure that I will um put the information that you can order your own. He does do local delivery in Philadelphia, um, and I believe Jersey and Delaware as well. But I'll put the information in the caption, and you can go ahead and take a look and order your sea moss because it's definitely amazing. But yeah, so um back to T Marie's book. I was talking about the final chapter, and really about to end in the review anyway. But um yeah, but chapter 10 is honest is better than perfect. I was saying it says the goal was never to finish this book and become someone else. Um, and I think that's important to say because you're not going to change. Your life is not going to change uh as much as we want things to change overnight in 48 hours. That's not what happens realistically all the time. Are there things that happens? Can your life change in 24 hours and 48 hours? Yes, it's possible. It happens like that sometimes. Um, it's something that is possible. Uh, is it something that happens often? No, no. But you have to be honest with yourself when you're when and that's why I always say it's important to uh think about what you choose to entertain. Um and this book is a prime example of that. Like it's it's not your typical, like I said in the beginning, it's not your typical self-care book. Like when you just, you can say anything but it actually she actually cares. And when you're reading it, you're going to feel that energy. You're going to feel that authenticity from her, that she really cares about women getting to a better place and a safer place within ourselves as we grow and as we elevate and get to the next levels of our life. So I think that is very important, um that you have to be honest. You have to be honest about where you are, and you have to be honest about where you're trying to go, and you have to be honest about what is going to take for you to get there. And you also have to be honest that you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to make the best decisions all the time. It's important that you bounce back and that you pivot. and that you take things as they come. Give yourself grace, give yourself time to process so that you can make better decisions and that you can make the best decisions. You got to slow down, breathe, but you got to be honest and transparent with yourself about what it is that you are trying to accomplish. um and you know, everybody makes decisions that they're not proud of. And yeah, you're gonna have to sit with it for a second to understand where you went wrong and how to make it better the next time. So shout out to T Marie. I will make sure that I put the link for this wonderful workbook of what I call it in the beginning, a, a journal of a journey. But it's definitely a workbook um, that will have you feeling lighter and feeling like it's something that you can go back to on a consistent basis, to get some refuel and recharge and reset, um, in order to carry on to the next chapter of your life. But shout out to T Marie. Mind you, This Your Life, available on Amazon and in paperback form and in Kindle. Also, I would like to say that if you don't know, make sure that you check out T Marie on YouTube, on her Instagram. I'll make sure that I leave her all of her social media information in the caption as well. She's a problem musically. Like it's and it's refreshing. Like to just hear her, um and to see her grow as an artist, and um as an artist and as a creator. It's just a beautiful thing to see. So shout out to T Marie. If you would like to be featured on the next episode of What is O Reading, and you would like me to review your book and let people know, put people onto your story, and I would love to read it. So send it to me. You can send me a message on Instagram at I am Olivia Bird, or you can send me an email at admin at IamOliviaBird.com. Please make sure you go over to the website www.IamOliviaBird.com to check out services that we offer over here at O's House. You can also check out uh, some of the brands that we have available, including Bird's Eye View and Sets by OB, which are press on nails for the girls who pop their shit. Indeed. It's also some information on there for some of our partners, and how to be added as a partner over here at Welcome to O's House. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all continue to support, like, comment, subscribe. Let's always keep the conversation going. You'll definitely be getting an interview with Miss T Marie. That will be coming soon. Because yeah, we need to hear it. We need to talk to her. Yeah, we need to talk to her. This was a good book. So make sure that y'all, show support. If you have Roku TV, you can find Welcome to O's House under High Times Network, and also Fire TV. You can find Welcome to O's House under CSA Network, and that information will be available in the caption as well. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. It's your girl Olivia Bird. I'll holler at y'all later. Bye.